Okay, today I'm going to try to document my most recent change on my 83 GS850L. And what you may notice is I have a new set of saddlebags on it. I purchased the Shad SH23s, which is a 23-liter bag, because I have experience with their top case, my SH23 37-liter top case, and I really liked it. Previously, I had a Mutazu LN bag, which was a smaller bag, inexpensive, cheap, some would say, and the plastic didn't last. Excuse me. It didn't hold up. It started to crack and break. And the other thing is, those Mutazu bags leaked pretty badly whenever it rained. So what I did is I had noticed that when I got out in the rain and with my Shad bag, the top case, what I had previously, it didn't leak. And I'd been out in some pretty bad rainstorms. So I decided that as soon as I could figure out which bag would fit best onto the bike now, I would buy them and move to the Shad bags. And I got pretty lucky because these mounted straight up onto my GL. And I'm going to show you that in just a second. Here you're going to notice that I took one of the bags off as well as the seat. And the reason I did it is I wanted to show you this 3P mounting system they have. Shad has this pretty cool system where the bag will go onto this bracket right here. It hangs on that bracket. It's got 3 points, 3P, locking onto that. And it just so happens to have mounted straight up to my GL. They have a bunch of different brackets for a variety of different new bikes. So matching it up with our older bikes is a bit of a challenge. But I got lucky enough to see that the Suzuki VStrom 650, the 2017 version of the bracket, had a different style flange on it, which you may be able to see looking down on it here, hopefully. And it mounts right onto the bike, right here and right there, which is the seat passenger grab rail fastening locations, which I don't have on the bike because I have this rack on the bike. So that bolted right on there. It was pretty nice, actually. Okay, the old LN bags came with these brackets, which you may be familiar with. They're just universal mount brackets for saddlebags. But I salvaged them off the LN. I actually managed to use them on the bottom mount of the 3P system. Showing it here if I can, try to get some light on it for you. I mounted right up here to the top shock bolt, and then it comes down along here behind the bracket, and I was able to bolt it right on here. So it actually is a pretty clean installation, and again, I got really lucky. It all just measured out just perfectly. Very little modifications. All I had to do was take the bracket and grind off a little bit of this top corner here so that it could get in by the shock there. You can see right here it's kind of ground off, so it had room to fit in there. And it's about perfect and solid as a rock. So I'm really pleased with that. Now for the hard part, I'm going to try and actually mount this bag up one-handed. You have to have the cover open on these bags. And there's a little release lever, I'll bring it up here by the bag if I can, right here, and it goes into this little opening right here. When you get your bags, if you do decide to go this way, there's going to be 2 different varieties of this end piece. So look inside the bags when you get them and make sure you got all the pieces, because they're going to do a couple of things for you. They're going to give you the right end pieces, depending on which bag you have, the SH23, which is what I have, or the SH36, which is a lot bigger. They have different end pieces. And then also inside, they're going to give you an extra lock so that you can match your top case. If you have a Shad top case, you can put the lock in and all your locks are the same key. And let me flip this bag around if I can and show you how it actually goes on. Pardon the poor camera work, please. You can see there's a bracket here, and then the forward-facing bracket right here that grab onto the bar. I'm going to try and do that now one-handed. So, it seems to be on all the places. Get on there, there it is. So you just push down as you operate this lever, and the bag is secured on there right now. Solid as a rock. 23 liters. Pretty nice little bag, really. Has this fancy reflector on it that just happens to be just above my turn signal, which I like. Matches the white reflector that's on the bag as well. The only downside of these bags, in my opinion, is that they don't latch when closed. You need to operate the lock in order to secure them closed. Unlike the top case, which is right now securely latched, but unlocked. So you just push in on this and it locks. They didn't do that on this particular bag. I think maybe the design was to keep it a little bit smaller and a little less expensive, which works for me. I've got about $350 into this whole setup. And to Shad's credit, I ordered this product from them right in the middle of the hurricane that was bombing Miami, and that's where they are. And it cost me about 3 days while they organized themselves after the hurricane wiped them out a little bit and shipped me the product. But I got it pretty quickly and in great shape and with all the parts needed, even though there was some learning curve to it. And finally, just to give you an idea of sizing, the bag itself is about 10 inches deep, roughly 8 inches wide inside, and 16 inches long inside, and then it's a little bit deeper as well because the top is cavitied as well. So all in all, pretty decent sized little bag, and something that I'm fairly happy with. And if anybody wants to get a set of bags for their GS, this wouldn't be such a bad choice, in my opinion. There's the SH23, and it comes with a nice red key that fits both bags, and then they give you the lock for the top case as well. And the only downside that I can see for some would be the case kind of eliminates the ability to put a passenger on. There's no place for a two-up riding. The way I've mounted them, because I mounted them on the existing brackets, which was a little bit farther forward than perhaps a saddlebag should be. But this bike is my one-up bike. I'm never two-up on this bike. It's my commuter and my fun bike. I rip around all over the place on it, but I'm always alone. If I'm going to go two-up, I've got my Goldwing over here waiting and ready for me to go, so I don't really worry about two-up stuff. That's always handled on the Goldwing. And my fun ripping around, some might say rat bike, but it's not a rat bike, it's a resto mod bike, is this one. Post your questions if you have some, and I'll try to answer them, because I really think a lot of this bag. I think the Shad is doing a heck of a job, and less expensive than other better quality bags, not better quality, but good quality bags that you would consider using.